Whether you agree or disagree, or it just simply goes over your head, you can still quote me, because that's what I said.
And hello, guys. How are you? Welcome to another episode of Native Talks. Now, if you did not hear it from these two lips, then you've been lied to and you've been tricked. Because before you can repeat it or even start to debate it, you just better make sure that you heard me say it. All right, guys, I do thank y'all for tuning in. My faithful few. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to check on a video that I post. Now, I do want to apologize to my faithful few because I have been busy with work. And the last video that I did, I kind of let you guys know that I was sick in September. I had caught something. I think I had the flu or something. And it looked like something's trying to get at me again. Here we are in November, and I'm feeling kind of funny again. So, if you see me occasionally pick up a Kleenex and kind of, blop my nose, I've been having some issues with a runny nose. I've been having issues, with a lot of sneezing. And I don't know whether it has to do with the fact that the weather's changing or what. I don't know. All I know is it has made my life a little uncomfortable. Basically, this video is called Memories in the Corners of My Life. And it'll be anytime I do something that I really feel dives deep into a history with me, something that really matters to me, or something that I really want to bring people to acknowledgement about. That's a segment of my videos that I will be doing called Memories in the Corner of My Life. This video was inspired, believe it or not, by a male friend of mine on Instagram, his name is Matt. And he questioned me about my online dating history. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really have an online dating history, but I did have a situation happen with me that was quite dangerous. And ever since that incident, it kind of made me totally suspicious of online dating. I don't trust online dating. I don't think that it's something that people should really do. You can't tell people what to do. At the end of the day, they're going to do what they want. But I'm just saying, from the experience that I had, I stay out of online dating. If I have friends online, that's one thing. But if you're a friend of mine online, trust and believe you ain't never going to know where I live. You ain't never going to be invited to my house, because I just don't trust that who I'm talking to online is who they really are. And video chatting is something that is very available nowadays. And if you can't get on the phone and chat with me, and we video chat where I can see who I'm talking to, then you can just see things that I post, comment, like. I see things that you post, I comment, I like, and that's it. That's as far as it's gonna go. So let me kind of dive into why you're probably asking yourself, why does she have this feeling about online dating? Why is she so negative about it? Well, once I tell you what I've been through, maybe it'll kind of answer some of your questions. And here we go. All right. As you all know, I'm 54 years old. And I've been kind of in this tech online stuff for probably the last 20, 30 years. Okay. My first introduction into online life was back in my late 20s, back around when I was 27, 28 years old. We had a computer in the house, but it was a communal computer. It was one that everybody used. We couldn't afford at that time, couldn't afford to have all these individual laptops and tablets and stuff. They didn't have that stuff then. You had a computer, and it was one that everybody used. So my time on the internet was limited, and I was looking for, because I didn't want to do chat rooms. Chat rooms were a big thing. When technology first came out, chat rooms were like the thing. You would go online and you could go into different chat rooms and chat with different people, but you didn't know who you were chatting with. All you saw was these handles and these names that they went by, and that was it. You could ask for them to upload a picture, but you can get a picture online and upload that and put it. And that's what people were doing back then. You never really knew who you were really talking to. That's the danger of online dating back then and sort of now. This is dangerous because you don't know who you're talking to. So because I didn't like chat rooms, at that time I was looking for something fun to do online. I wasn't looking for no relationship or anything like that, but I wanted to have fun. I wanted to really see what this tech stuff was. And so I came across this community called blackplanet.com. Now, y'all may have been a part of it, you may have heard of it, or you may not even know what it is, but blackplanet.com was like the first online community for African Americans. MySpace came later. So if you're a MySpacer, you probably don't know about blackplanet.com, because MySpace was actually an upgrade from blackplanet.com. So each generation had their upgrade, but Black Planet was like one of the first. And so it was free. You could join, and what you had was this page. Now, what I truly do miss about blackplanet.com that you just don't have anymore, it brought out the creativity in me. Because on blackplanet.com, you had your personal page. You got to pick what you called your page. You chose what information was put. Now, the only thing that I didn't like about blackplanet.com was that your information, like your real name, wasn't up there, but it did tell your age, and it did tell what state you were in. It didn't tell what city, but it did tell what state you were in. Didn't quite like that, but that was a new thing. And it was back during a time where you really didn't have people that really paid that much attention to that. Really, they didn't. But what I loved most about the blackplanet.com platform was that your page you could change the background of the page. You could change the font size of the page. You could change the different type of fonts. You could make your page sparkle. You can make images move. I mean, you could do anything with that page. And you could put music in the background. I mean, you could do so much with the page. And I remember when I first joined, because they give you a blank slate. When you first join, your page looks it's either brown or green. And if you new to the page, everybody kind of knew you was new, or that you didn't have any creativity, because your page would look brown or green anytime somebody would come to it. But if people came to your page and and they seen the sparkle and your background was, and they hear the music playing and all of that, I mean, it was interesting to see, because I didn't know how to do graphic art at that time. And so as I started gaining friends and I started seeing people's pages, and I'm starting to see all these pages that got all of these terrific pictures that, and backgrounds that move, and they upload music on their page. And I'm like, how did they do this stuff? And so it made me want to be creative. I found myself being bored with the way my page looked, and I wanted to take it a step further. So I started inquiring, with different friends that I had on there. I'm like, how did you get your page to look like that? How did you get Because some people were posting pictures where the hair was sparkling or the hair looked like it was moving, animation. But I didn't know anything about animation. I didn't know anything about any of that stuff. So when I seen it, I was intrigued by it, but I didn't know how they were doing it. And when I started getting told that, oh, well, I'll teach you how to do it, but you got to pay me, you know, $300 an hour, $300 an hour. Are you serious? And so when I started getting all of these offers, oh, I'll teach you how to fix your page up. I'll teach you how to do it. I decided that wasn't going to be the case. Hold on a minute, you guys. I told y'all my nose has been giving me issues, so just bear with me. Okay. So here I am, a member of this community, and I'm seeing things that I like, and I'm gaining friends. I'm gaining more friends on there. And while I'm in the midst of, trying to figure out how I'm gonna make this page work for me, what do I think it can do for me, I really was just interested in meeting people from all over, and I wanted to bring out my creativity on the page. That's basically what I wanted to do. While I'm in the midst of doing that, I have this guy that wants to be my friend. And he said his name was James. And I was like, okay, and he came by my page a couple of times, and he was like, hey, I really would like to get to know. He saw pictures of my face that I had posted, and he was like, I'd really like to get to know you, da 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 da. It started out, we were, he would post something on my page, because they usually had, if people came by your page and left a comment, you would see it and you could scroll up and scroll down and see the comments. And he was always coming on there, saying, hope you're having a good day. You look really pretty, da, 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 da. Any pictures I posted, he was commenting on it. And I would go to his page and, say, hey, how you doing? Eventually got to a point where he asked for my phone number because he was like, I really would like to talk to you on the phone. And this was back, like I said, this is before video chatting and all that other stuff. So that's really the only way that you could talk to somebody who didn't live where you were, was to talk to him on the phone. So I gave him my number. We started talking. The phone conversations were okay. He would throw hints in there every now and then that he was interested in something romantic. But for the most part, it was just conversation. It was just, hey, how you doing? And what's it like? Where you at? And then he would tell me about previous relationships he had been in. And I told him about previous relationships I had been in. And everything seemed like it was going fine. After about 5 months, then he started, where do you live? What? And it started off okay, just a simple, where do you live? And I would tell him, well, I don't quite feel comfortable yet, letting you know where I live. Just know, if you're talking to me, I live somewhere. And that if we keep building on this friendship that we have, and we find that we both, notice I said that we both want to take it to another level, then I will let you know. But it has to be something that we both agree on. I said, and right now I'm just not real comfortable with letting you know where I live. I don't think we've known each other that long for me to be telling you where I live. And so he was like, okay, all right, that's cool. That's fair. But weeks after that, the question never went away. He would still throw it at me. And at first, a couple of times he said it, I'm like, I would say it playfully, like, man, didn't I already tell you, I don't feel comfortable with that. Let's just keep, getting to know each other. Because at 5 months, you don't know enough about a person to feel comfortable enough, especially when you ain't seen them face to face. You haven't, established that type of a connection. You just don't feel comfortable to saying, hey, I live in so-and-so, So I would playfully answer his question, but when I kept noticing that every time we talked on the phone, that subject of, well, where are you at? Where you at? Where you live? I want to know where you live. It got to a point where I just said, okay, now I've already answered that question, and I'm really not trying to answer it again. So please, we didn't already beat that horse to where that horse is laying on the ground and it ain't moving. In other words, I'm not going to tell you where I live till I decide that I feel comfortable enough letting you know where I live. So you might want to keep from asking that question. I mean, and I kind of had that lilt in my voice, like, okay, you need to back off, because this incessant asking a question that I already gave you an answer to, you beginning to get on my nerves. That's kind of what my mentality was, and I thought that if I made it clear that this was getting on my nerves and that I've already answered the question, don't ask again, I thought that was gonna make him just say, okay, this girl, this is how she feels. She don't want to take it to that level. Okay, fine. No, he kicks it up a notch and starts, saying, well, you can't really hide from me. He said that to me one time. You can't really hide from me if I really wanted. And this is exactly what he said. If I really wanted to know where you were, I could find you. I immediately hung up the phone. I mean, when someone says something like that, it brought out a fear in me that I had never had before. So you got to remember, I was in my late 20s, and my dating history ain't as long as a lot of people. I had only been engaged to be married once in my life, and that's when I was 22 years old. I scatteredly dated after my engagement ended because I was so damaged from my engagement happening to come to an end that I really was scared to dive back out there in the dating field. And so I slowly got back out there in the dating field. And I dated a few guys, but it didn't really go anywhere. They were nice guys. It just, we weren't compatible. But then you try this online thing, and this is the first thing that happens when you try online. So when he made that comment that I really couldn't hide from him and that if he really wanted to know where I was, he would find me, I hung up the phone. Now, at that time in my life, I was a juvenile detention officer at a juvenile correctional facility. And so I had a strong relationship with the police department in the city that I was living in. And I brought it to their attention. I mean, I brought all of the information. I was so worried about this guy, and I didn't know where. See, all while he's trying to find out where I'm at, the one thing that was made clear to me is I don't know where he is. And if he's making threats like this, like I can't hide from him, and that if I really want to know where you at, I'll find you, that led me to believe, okay, you're not where you told me you were. If you're making a threat like that, what does that mean? Does that mean that you're living next door to me, down the street? What are you doing that you could make a comment like that? So at that point, I turned everything that I had, all of my telephone, because I had to go to the telephone company at that time and get all of the records of all the phone calls, the time of the days that I called. I had to get all of that and turn it over to the police. They took it from there. And what they found out was, oh my gosh. First of all, he had told me he was from New Jersey. He wasn't from New Jersey. He was from St. Louis. And when they, questioned him about the phone calls with me, come to find out, I wasn't the only woman that he was calling and talking with and making threats to. There had been 2 previous police reports filed on him by 2 other women that lived in 2 different cities that filed a report on him for harassment. So I added my case to theirs. I never truly knew what came of it. I did not want to, they were talking about, well, we can, try to fly you out, to St. Louis for court. I'm like, I don't want to go. I just said, y'all deal with it. I'm out of it. I don't want to see the guy. I don't want to know what happens. Just, just put my case as a part of theirs and just leave me out of it. And that's basically what I did. I never truly found out what ever happened to him. And at that point, I really didn't care. At that point, I made the decision. Online dating, it may work for other people, but it ain't for me. I'm not going to put myself out there for someone to walk into my life only to be some crazy, deranged mental health study that comes walking up into my life, unleashing all of their issues on me. No way. And I'm not going to be a statistic. I refuse to be the woman who dates a guy thinking that this is a romantic relationship and then he winds up killing me. No way. And so after that incident, I stayed online, but I was picky about who I let be my friend, on Black Planet. I started, if I went to a page and I just didn't like the way the person, looked, if they looked mean in their pictures, if they didn't have any pictures, because there were a lot of pages in blackplanet.com that was like that. There were a lot of pages where they didn't have a picture of what they looked like, but yet they're wanting to talk with you. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. I don't even know what you look like. You ain't even got a picture up, so blackplanet.com was actually the perfect place for people who live double lives. And I eventually left Black Planet. It just got to be too suspicious for me, but it did unleash my creativity to where when I upgraded to getting a MySpace page, I was in love with MySpace because you could do more creative things with your MySpace page that you could do with the blackplanet.com page. My time on MySpace, though, was very short because MySpace, as I learned after joining, was that it had more to do with celebrities. And there were a lot of celebrity people that had pages, and a lot of people were trying to hook up with celebrities to get discovered. That's what MySpace was a lot about. You still had people like us in there, just everyday folk, but most of the everyday folk was trying to get their hustle on through MySpace. It was about if you were a singer then and you wanted to be discovered, you would have a singing page that had all of your music that you may have made in a studio, and you had videos of you singing, and it was kind of like the Instagram of the 90s. That's basically what it was. The Instagram of the 90s and the early 2000s. That's what it was, because most people were trying to get their hustle on through MySpace. So when I seen that the friendships that I was looking to build, just meeting new people, that MySpace really it wasn't that avenue. It didn't really open the door for that. I think I was on MySpace for probably a year. And then I shut the page down. From there, I joined, because I did have friends that I did make on blackplanet.com that I'm still friends with today. I'm just going to throw some first names out there. I know I have one friend named Mercedes. I met her. Oh, my nose is giving me issue again, so excuse me. I have a friend named Mercedes that I met through there. Beautiful girl, Puerto Rican. We've been friends for a long, long time. And her dad and I are also friends. I actually met him through her. And his name is Dante. And he's a real nice guy. And then another one that I met who does graphic art. And I was inspired by her because her creativity is on a level that I will never reach. She has a creative niche that is all her own and is absolutely beautiful. And that's my friend Tracy. We've been friends since blackplanet.com, and she actually calls herself the Mahogany Diva. And I mean, her graphic art, and she does drawing as well, which I can't draw a grape. You give me a computer and I can create beautiful images, but if you give me a canvas and a pencil or a paintbrush, you're going to get stick people. That's just, I don't know what it is. I can do it on a computer, but I can't do it on the actual paper. So, but my friend Tracy, she can do both, and she's very creative. And then I have another friend that I met on blackplanet.com named Aretha. And Aretha and I just we kind of vibed because we had some of the same likes and dislikes, and we just kind of vibe. Now, eventually all of us left Black Planet because, like I said, blackplanet.com just became, it was kind of predatory. It was like, the only people that were on there were just predatorily looking to hook up with somebody. And if you're not on there for that, you eventually just say, you know what, I'm out. And so eventually all of us went to Yahoo 360. Now, Yahoo at the time, was just an internet server, but it called itself trying to reach a broader audience. And so they had like this room or this community called Yahoo 360. I kind of liked it because it allowed you to post pictures and you could post poetry and things like that. And all of my friends were members over there. Tracy, Aretha, Dante, Mercedes. We were all over there. And see, you got to remember, this was at the beginning of, when we joined Black Planet. I know that Mercedes, Tracy, and me, and I think Aretha did a little bit too. We all dabbled in graphic design and graphic art. Dante, was kind of into the podcast, radio broadcast type thing. But we were all at the beginning of it then. When we were members of blackplanet.com, we was just regular people who were trying to get our creative niches going. And as we moved from blackplanet.com to Yahoo 360, we were getting better at what we were doing. We were getting more creative at what we were doing. But then Yahoo 360 just became kind of dead. It was like, and see, Yahoo 360 was the first time that I had something of mine stolen. I had made this graphic about a Black couple that was in love, and by that time I had really learned how to create, and I didn't pay no $300 an hour, y'all, if y'all wondering. No, I did not. I am a totally self-taught graphic artist. I asked God to show me how to do it, and he did. And I made a promise to him that if you show me how to do this, I will do it for your glory, and that's what I've done. But I made this graphic art about Black love, and I posted it on Yahoo 360, and Yahoo 360, was one of those web communities where you could surf and go look at other people's pages. And I clicked on this guy's page that I don't even know, but I see a familiar picture up on his page, and he was acting like it was his. And it had my logo on it, but at the time, the logo that I had didn't have my face on it. It just had the name of my business and the copyright. So I knew it was my image. He didn't even take my name and copyright off of it. But he gonna post it on his page talking about, look what I did and ain't this beautiful. And I was like, niggas, you crazy. And so Yahoo 360 did have a rule that they said that if someone stole your original works, that you had to send them the original copy and that they would shut the person's page down. And I think they said something like they would be banned from opening a page for over a year before they would let them open another page. They couldn't just, shut it down and then just go make another page. They would be blocked. The IP address from where that image was held on would be totally blocked and banned. So I had turned over my original work to Yahoo 360, and they shut that guy's page down. But shortly after that, I shut my page down because I was, I do poetry. I do graphic art, and I do videography. And those three are my business, Native Girl Creations. And I'm very particular and sensitive about my work because I know how much hard work I've put into each and every one that I do. And when I came across a community where somebody can just come on my page and just steal everything, then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have to shut this down. So I shut that page down. The next place, because I stayed away from online stuff for a little while. And then when Facebook came up, I was a little leery about Facebook because after Yahoo 360 and getting my stuff stolen, blackplanet.com, where some guy's stalking and threatening me, MySpace, where people are just looking for celebrities, I didn't know whether I wanted to dip my toes into the tech world anymore. I was uncertain of whether I really wanted to go with the online communities anymore. But a lot of my friends, from church, and a lot of my relatives were all telling me that they had a page on there, and I felt more comfortable knowing that people that I already knew, people that I knew and loved and trusted, were telling me, hey, you might want to join. It's Facebook, it's nice, it's cool, and we're on there. We got a page on there. But do you see where I'm going? I had to get affirmation and confirmation from people that I already knew face to face, people that I trusted to assure me that it was safe to go on Facebook. Had I not heard from my friends and family, I never would have joined Facebook. And that is the God to honest truth. So I joined Facebook, I do believe, in 2010. And I've loved it. The only thing I don't like is I don't have the creativity that I had on blackplanet.com. Blackplanet.com did have the most creative way for you to make your page stand out. And when people came to your page, it was all about you. You had it fixed up. You could change the background, the colors, the fonts. I mean, you could make that page do whatever you wanted it to do. And that's something that nowadays a lot of these platforms took away. And I don't like that. I'm like, why would I understand that you may be, trying to be one up on the community that came before you, but Black Planet had an idea that unleashed creativity. And I just don't, the fact that in Facebook, everybody's pages look the same. Yeah, you can post pictures of your family, your friends, you can post, ideas and comments that you may have, but the pages are white and blue. You can't change the fonts. You can't change the colors. You can't do anything that makes your page stand out above everybody else's. Now, through the years, they did do a little bit. Like the cover photo and your profile picture, they kind of did that, where you get this little space at the top of your page that you can kind of put a little creativity spin on. And then your profile picture, you can pick whatever picture you want to put there. You can get creative with that. But that's not, when you're a creative person, that is just not enough. So as much as I love the fact that since I've been on Facebook, I've been able to reconnect with old high school friends that I grew up with in my neighborhood, kids I went to church with, college friends, and sometimes co-workers, old co-workers that I used to work with way back in the day. I'm still friends with some of them on Facebook today. Now, we don't talk as much as we used to, but we're still friends. And the Black Planet friends that I made, the ones I told you about, Mercedes, Dante, Aretha, and Tracy, we are all still Facebook friends we're Facebook friends. And our friendship has lasted from Black Planet to Yahoo 360, MySpace, and now Facebook. Now on Instagram, unfortunately, I joined Instagram just recently. I stayed away from Instagram for quite a few years because I didn't understand what Instagram was about. I couldn't really get anybody to tell me what it was about. And I didn't find out till I actually joined that it's kind of like a modern day MySpace. Basically, most people on there are hustling. You know, you got a few people that are on there to meet new people, but for the most part, it's a lot of celebrities that have Instagram accounts. Um, because matter of fact, when I joined Instagram, I have to admit, I did follow Angela Bassett. I follow Lunel. I follow Denzel Washington, of course. You know, there's no way in the world that man I would not follow. I'd follow him off a cliff, to be totally honest with you. No, I wouldn't, but you know what I mean. Uh, I mean, there's quite a few people that I follow, of quite a few celebrities. And I do like the fact that it's a little different than MySpace because you actually get to hear and see the celebrities. You don't have to, you know, on MySpace and blackplanet.com, because of the limitations of technology back then, you had to question whether the celebrity was real because you weren't seeing videos of these celebrities. You were just seeing that it was a celebrity page, but you didn't know whether that person was really on that page or not, or whether it was someone that took their pictures and made a page. Instagram kind of killed all of that because you're seeing the actual video of the celebrity talking to you. You know, you would see they go live, and when they're live, you see people's comments going up the screen, and you see the celebrity responding to everyday people who are tuning in. So Instagram took it a step that Facebook, you know, didn't quite do, you know, but Facebook had taken it to a place that MySpace didn't. So each online community brought something to the table that the others did not. And with Black Planet being one of the first ones, I just wish that Facebook and Instagram would let you have the creative control that Black Planet would let you have. If I could make my Instagram page and my Facebook page the way I want to make it, it would be an awesome page. And I'm pretty sure anybody else who does graphic design wants to add that certain touch to it that says, this is me. And unfortunately, when you're on Instagram or Facebook, you may have little things that you can put on there, but you just can't have the creative control to set you completely apart from other people. So really, y'all, that is my online journey, which isn't very long. So that pretty much tells you what my journey with online communities are. I still don't believe in online dating, but I know that there are a lot of people that do. There are a lot of people who have met people online. My only response to that is ask them, are they still together? Look them up 10, 15, 20 years from now and see if they're still together. That's all I got to say. Because we all know relationships, even from people who have met face to face, can't seem to get that thing right. You know, they breaking up all over the place. So I'm having a hard time seeing someone who had to meet through a computer lasting anytime at all. I just can't see it lasting. I can't see it working. But that's just me. That's my experience. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Thank you for tuning in. I'm still on Instagram, Native Girl Creations, and the girl is spelled Gyrl. I am also on Facebook under Raina Minor, and it has Native Girl written by it. Native Girl Creations is my business. I'm a videographer, poet, and graphic artist. And I do that on the side of my full-time gig, which is working with children in foster care, which I love every single minute of it. I love children and I love helping them. And I love being a part of a community that works at bringing families together. But I also, and a lot of people see foster care as a bad thing. But unfortunately, we live in a time where our children are being victimized by the very people that are supposed to protect them. And so if someone has to step in and temporarily be the protector, the guardian, by removing children from situations where they're being victimized, I'm sorry, the kids' needs come first, not the parents' hurt feelings or anything like that, or the community saying, oh, we don't need nobody take, and people try to make it a racial issue, talking about that most kids that are removed are Black children. That is not true. I transport all kinds of children of different races. It is not about race. It's about the child's needs. And if the parents are damaged and cannot provide those needs for their children, somebody's got to step in and do it. So I'm glad to be a part of a community that will protect the children at all costs, but work at trying to reunite that family. So I'm going to get on off of here. I will be doing another video probably later this evening if I feel like it. Not making any promises, but be on the lookout for my next video where I'm going to talk about some of the political stuff that's going on. It's getting kind of crazy, y'all. All right. And wow. I had to shorten my screen, but again, thank you for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. And hope I see you again.
If you like my vibe, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Till the next time.